Hi there, Mike from Greenway. Well, today I wanted to share this news article with you, this newscast, and give you some of my comments. They're talking about battery replacement in electric vehicles, and I thought some of the information they're presenting is not well balanced, and so I'll give you my thoughts, and I'd be curious to hear what your thoughts are in the comments as well. It's only a couple of minutes, so let's take a listen to it together here and see what we can learn.
Neil Turner says he considers himself an environmentalist and has been an advocate for electric vehicles. When he purchased a used 2016 Nissan Leaf electric vehicle, Neil says the car was driving great until this past winter when the temperatures dropped and his battery needed replacing. But when he found out how much that replacement battery would cost, he reached out to Consumer Matters. When Neil Turner purchased this used 2016 Nissan Leaf back in 2019, he said he just wanted a small, inexpensive electric vehicle to get him into the market.
The cost was $17,000, including tax.
But this past winter,
Which to me sounds like, I mean, I have driven this not this exact car, but 2016 Nissan Leafs. I've driven many Nissan Leafs. You've seen them on the channel here, and I quite enjoy them. They're quite good little runabout vehicles, are perfect for city commuting. And yes, in the winter, the range does decrease, but generally they're quite good. So makes sense that he, chose the Nissan Leaf as a good used electric vehicle.
during a cold snap, the Vancouver Island resident says he ran into trouble. The battery range began to drop, a kilometer a second. Neil took the car to his local Nissan dealership where he says he was told the battery needed replacing.
We went back and asked, can we have a quote for replacement battery? And that's when I got the shock.
Neil was quoted over $85,000 for the replacement battery, and that did not include the labor costs.
I mean, I at this point in this article, it almost doesn't bear. It doesn't make sense to continue listening to it. If it's $85,000 quote, that's clearly inaccurate. That's clearly a wrong number. I mean, the car itself, brand new, would have been $50,000 or $40,000, something like that. This Nissan dealer clearly had no interest in serving him, and maybe that's the point of this video, is that it is very disappointing that Nissan is choosing this route, or dealers are choosing this route to abandon the customer. This quote is not a quote. This is a message to the user to say, we're abandoning you, we have no interest in serving you, and we have no interest in repairing your vehicle, or they basically are saying just buy a new car. And it's extremely disappointing that Nissan's taking this approach. I think they could, especially with, I would consider anyone who's bought an electric vehicle, up to, 2020, or even up to now, we're still in the early days of electric vehicles, although we're approaching a more mainstream zone, but still, they're essentially abandoning this customer. And I know I've heard of other stories where they simply have no interest in serving the customer and providing them reasonable service to fix and repair their vehicle.
I almost fell down.
Even when Neil questioned
sure.
the price of the battery, he says the dealership confirmed the quote was the suggested retail price from Nissan Canada. Neil reached out to Consumer Matters. When we reached out to the automaker, we were told a mistake had been made in the inputted part code, and that the price to purchase the Leaf lithium-ion battery would be $11,533 before taxes. Nissan Canada stating in part, should the customer move ahead, we are happy to provide them with free installation of the battery for the inconvenience caused. Additionally, the customer will receive an upgraded 40 kilowatt battery in lieu of the original 30 kilowatt battery.
Well, I mean, as we know, as maybe some of us know, and then they're using 30 kilowatts. It's 30 kilowatt hour. 30 kilowatt hour battery is no longer in production. They are still producing a 40 kilowatt hour battery. So, I mean, while they present it here as a special thing for him, it's really, that's all they have. They don't have a 30 kilowatt hour battery available. And again, though, so it's great. So it's down to 11,000, which is certainly more reasonable than 85,000. But even 11,000, if you look at that and you look at he's got a 9-year-old vehicle, is the person going to spend $11,000? Well, maybe not. But I think the broader question, though, is, does he, if you're familiar with how the batteries are put together, there's many different modules, there's many different cells, essentially. Often when these batteries fail, there's a single cell or a single module that's failing. So the entire battery doesn't need to be replaced, it just needs a repair rather than replacement. But they're going with the replacement route here. So it's kind of like saying, well, one of my spark plugs in my gas car on my 6-cylinder or 4-cylinder engine isn't working properly. Instead of replacing the spark plug, what I'm going to do is offer to replace your entire engine. And yes, that will solve the problem, but it's very expensive. And I realize a spark plug is easier to change than a battery cell. But battery cells, if you've seen some other videos on YouTube, they are pretty easy. Simple, especially in Nissan Leafs, they're pretty easy to replace. At least from a conceptual standpoint. You do need some equipment. Like it would be great if you had a hoist, a car hoist, although you don't have to have that. But still, they are serviceable. So probably Nissan doesn't want their dealers servicing batteries because there is a risk of there's a high voltage there, so there is a risk of there's a danger risk there. But again, they're taking the simplistic approach, and again, they really don't have interest in serving this customer and replacing the cell that's bad. They are, so they're offering an engine replacement, which I'm using as battery replacement instead.
Nissan also confirming 1 year or 20,000 kilometers warranty on the replacement part.
I think 1 year is not appropriate given the battery was originally warranted for 8 years in a new car. Why wouldn't it be warranted for a similar period?
The nonprofit Automobile Protection Association says when it comes to battery replacement, automakers should be offering better support for consumers.
Car makers should be doing more to make either add their own brand of reconditioned packs with proper warranties at better prices, or in the alternative, if it's too expensive, offer to buy the vehicle back from the customer.
Neil Turner says he has 115,000 kilometers on his Nissan Leaf, and its current market value is estimated at around $10,000, which means he'll have to decide whether or not battery replacement is worth the investment. And the Automobile Protection Association also says buying a used EV can be risky. It says used EV warranties often don't go beyond the original battery warranty, so you can buy a warranty for an EV, but battery wear out is often excluded. And
so, so that other fellow there commenting that they should have, the technology in electric vehicles is changing quickly. So I understand how the manufacturers don't want to support the older vehicles, especially a 9 or 10-year-old vehicle, because that's 10-year-old technology already. It's kind of like, a computer, taking a 10-year-old computer and trying to fix it. Often they don't anymore. So I get on that side, but on the other side, you've got a vehicle that you're hoping it will last you 20, 25 years, maybe at the outside. And if you can't do a simple repair on it partway through its lifetime, they're instead offering these expensive replacements, battery replacements, which are really, not reasonable. So I guess that kind of goes back with a previous video I've done before where I've said, there are independent third-party shops now. They are doing these repairs much cheaper and much quicker. And what they'll do is they'll inspect your battery, they'll look at which cells are bad, they'll open it up, they'll replace just those cells, and you can be back on your way for $1,000 to $2,000, depending on how much work is needed and how many cells are bad. If there's just one or more, but it's unfortunate that the the original manufacturers have no interest in providing this kind of service. So I guess the point of my video here is to say there is a third option, or a second option, I guess, if your OEM, your original equipment manufacturer, has abandoned you. Seek out these independent shops and see what they have available. I bet you he can get his vehicle fixed for $1,000 to $2,000, and he'll be back on the road and have many more years of good EV driving out of it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video interesting or informative, I'd appreciate it if you'd give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing for future videos. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.